I'm live here. I'm live
Here.
everywhere.
Are you live on Facebook?
I'm live on. Yep.
Okay, I'm going live.
Hey, friends, just going live with Emily. There we go.
There we are. We're live.
We are live. Welcome, everybody, to The Well. It is Wednesday at 30 seconds before 1 p.m. And this is a weekly live that we have to provide wisdom bits for the journey ahead. And my friends, what a journey we are in right now. My name is Jomar. I am a transformative coach. I help people get clear on what it is they want at transitional points in their lives, get clear on what their next thing is, and then we go get after it.
Woohoo! Hi guys, welcome to The Well. My name's Emily, and I'm a life guide and business coach providing transformational leadership development. My passion is working with small teams, small to medium-sized businesses, and bringing transformational leadership to the workplace. What a beautiful place to bring coaching and transformation, because not only does it affect our work lives, but it also can then affect our personal lives, and it is for the better. It's a really beautiful process. So
Awesome.
We're here on this November 4th, 2020.
We are, and our topic for today is cultivating confidence, and we're gonna get there because there might be some of you that's watching this now or watching this later that might not be feeling confident. And so before we get there, I wanted to create some space and acknowledge that we've already been in limbo all year with how Em's in Canada, I'm in the US, but how our governments are handling the pandemic and the social unrest here in the US, and there's a lot of things that are happening that usually happens in 10 years but happens in a day. So there's a ton of things in which we might not feel solid or confident in where we're headed, and so I wanted to create space for that and let you all know that we're with you. We know what it's like in that place. We know that it could feel disempowering, and all of the emotions that happen in that place: sadness, disbelief, confusion, anger, whatever it might be. We're with you. We're there with you, and hopefully for the next few minutes we can offer hope, some glimpse into how we could sustain the journey ahead, as the tagline of this series says, with The Well. So on to cultivating confidence. Em, I will ping it back to you. Why don't
Awesome.
you vamp on it for us?
Okay, cool. Well, I'm just going to add my 2 cents to, I'll tie it into a little bit of confidence, but also to just add my 2 cents to, what is the climate of the United States right now? What is the climate of the effect of the United States on the rest of the world right now? And I want to just give us all like a gentle sort of reminder that as human beings, it's really easy to get caught up in the drama, right? It's really easy to get caught up in what we might call like victim mentality, or that, you don't have a lot of control over what's going on, or that you are a victim of your circumstances. And what I'm not saying is that that the election doesn't have an impact on you. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is an invitation for you to, in these tumultuous times, to really reaffirm and declare your sovereignty as a human being, as a citizen of the world. That we always have an opportunity to respond to our circumstances. We do not and cannot always control our circumstances. Hi, Nikki. But
Nikki.
we totally always have the ability to respond to our circumstances. And so, as sovereignty sort of pertains to confidence, confidence comes from the Latin root word, which means to trust, right? So when we think about confidence, we're really talking about an innate ability to trust in ourselves. And I think that, confidence is actually a byproduct of a lot of things. Confidence isn't usually the thing that comes first. Confidence is the byproduct of doing something over and over and over again. Confidence is being familiar and comfortable doing something. I truly believe that like confidence is actually the byproduct of showing up in your courage, right? So especially when you're doing something new or when you're responding to a circumstance that you've never dealt with before, sometimes we can't show up to things confidently, but we can show up in trust of ourselves, in remembering that we're a sovereign being, and with bringing some courage to the table.
Yeah, I love that, Em. I think when I think of confidence, and if it was sort of an equation, the first part of that is that deep trust in skill. Putting in the work, whatever it might be. If you're wanting to get confident in a new role, that's going to involve some skill. So a deep trust in the work that you've put in. And then, a deep trust in who you are up to that point. And then the other part of that equation would be a detachment from outcomes. I think a lot of people root their sense of confidence, their sense of well-being, if they were able to predict, what are the likely outcomes of this scenario? And if I can predict the likely outcomes, I'm going to have more confidence stepping into it. And I think having a healthy non-attachment to the outcomes and putting that in your equation is going to really breed well for confidence to be part of what you get as you step into that. And so for me, during this time, and we were talking about, what's real for me, and kind of get real for this moment. And for me is I do find myself resonating with that sense of being in limbo and being uncertain. And I'm wanting to grasp at certitude by looking at the updates and, looking at how many counts are left and, looking at what might happen if this scenario takes place. In this scenario, I'm grasping at the outcome and predicting it. And I find myself doing that. And I think how our talk today shows up for me is what confidence looks like is having a deep trust in the nature of the unfolding, the kindness and the design that we're in, and then participating in it. And that for today means taking it easy, being with myself and the emotions that I have and having hope despite any of it. And then turning that into action. Maybe doing more phone banking than I did before, maybe doing more donations, maybe, doubling down on how I've approached my practice as a coach in the past few years. But that's how this talk is showing up in real for me today. What about you, Em?
Well, as you mentioned, I'm in Canada. So this election certainly has an impact on us and an impact on the rest of the world. I think what I'm most present to, or I think where the state of 2020 and the election, it really sort of catapults me again to this place of remembering that actually the external circumstances in the world do not get to dictate what my purpose is here on this planet. The circumstances that are happening around me do not get to decide if I'm going to go after what it is that I want in my life, if I'm going to do the work I want to do, if I'm going to raise my kids the way I want to raise them, if I'm going to create art the way I want to create art, whatever that looks like. So, hi, Odiank.
Hello.
That's what the thing that's the most present for me is I feel a little bit like these sort of circumstances in the world are what Ram Dass used to call grist for the mill, right? Like the mill doesn't work unless it's got something to to grind on. The mill doesn't work unless there is like wood to be, you know, shaped and manipulated and, you know, forged. I don't mean manipulation in the sense of manipulation, but, you know, like a mill is changing the wood.
Right,
You
right,
know?
right,
Yeah.
right.
So I love that. I think that's what keeps me going in times of struggle and in times of stress, is reminding myself that all of this work that we put in as coaches with ourselves and with our clients, all of it is preparing us for times like this. We don't do this work so that we can sail through life. We do this work so that we can rise up in the face of adversity and challenges and still create the things that we're passionate about. And that's what's present for me as we go through this time. And that's my invitation for anyone watching this, is get back in touch with, what is your purpose? What are you here to do? And if you're really riled up by this election, maybe your calling is to go become more of an activist. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. But to remember that the climate of the world doesn't actually get to dictate what your life purpose is, what you're committed to, and how you show up to your own life every day.
Thanks for that, Em. I think, you know, as we wrap this up, again, if you're watching there, you know, take what helps. Listen to this and take what's resonating with you. Don't lose your joy in the midst of this. Joy is what's going to push you forward. Joy is what's going to activate you. Joy is what's going to cultivate that confidence in you. And you know, for today, wherever you're at, be there. And as Em said, you know, this allow this time to catapult you into an even more focused vision of who you want to be and what you want to take action on once you get clear on that.
Beautiful. All right, guys, we'll be back next week. Thanks for watching The Well.
Gracias.
Sending you all so much love and light and power.
Bye-bye,
See
everybody.
you next week. Ciao.